Dissent! What is dissent? The right to disagree in a democracy, right to question authority, freedom of expression. That's sedition! You are seditious, anti-national, traitor. February 9, 2016, students from Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi organized a protest on the anniversary of the judicial killing of Afzal Guru in 2016. Afzal Guru was a Kashmiri dissident charged with terrorism by the Indian government on the basis of scanty evidence. During the protest, a few unknown individuals allegedly raised anti-India slogans. The organizers of the event, Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya, spoke against these slogans. However, police used this disruption as an excuse to enter campus with the permission of the university's vice-chancellor and arrested the JNU Student Union President Kanhaiya Kumar on unfounded charges of sedition.
Rohit Vemula. The value of a man was reduced to his immediate identity and merest possibility. To a vote, to a number, to a thing. Never was a man treated as a mind, as a glorious thing made up of stardust. In every field, in studies, in streets, in politics, and in dying and living. January 17, 2016, Rohit Chakravarti Vemula, 26-year-old Ambedkarite, activist, and Dalit research scholar at the University of Hyderabad, was driven to suicide by institutional discrimination. Rohit Vemula denounced capital punishment and communalism and was vocal about his support for LGBT rights.
Sorry, February 22nd, 2014. I think when I reach there, they will kill me because I am going to bring out the truth and the truth scares them. February 23rd, 2016. The attack has challenged me further. Now I can't be stopped. The attack on me would not scare my people. People there have suffered for years. Now they will start fighting back. I will continue to fight for my cause, but I am worried about my daughter. They should not harm her. Soni Sori, school teacher, tribal activist, Aam Aadmi Party member, has been fighting against police atrocities on tribals and the rape and molestation of women by security forces in Chhattisgarh. Herself a victim of custodial violence in the past, she is currently recovering from an attack in which a corrosive chemical substance was smeared on her face. Kabir Kala Manch, Sheetal, Sachin, Sagar Gorkhe, Ramesh Gaitor of the Kabir Kala Manch, a predominantly Dalit and working class cultural troops, were accused of being in contact with Naxalites. After initially going into hiding 2 years ago, they appeared in public and sang in full view of the police and were arrested. They distributed leaflets stating that they were testing the Constitution, then their constitutional right to the freedom of expression. While Sheetal was eventually granted bail, 3 others are still in jail, awaiting trial.
We, the students of the University of Pennsylvania, stand in solidarity with the dissenting students at JNU, India. We stand for the freedom of speech and the nurturing of the university space as a critical tool for a lively democracy. At a time when police crackdowns on campuses have become a global phenomenon, we also stand in solidarity with the recent student movements across Turkey, Egypt, and South Africa. We are heartened that the University of California, Irvine has rejected the endowment from the Dharma Civilizational Foundation for 2 chairs in Hindu and India studies, because Hindu supremacist thought undermines the spirit of democracy that makes the university an open and democratic space. This is not the first assault on democracy and will not be the last, clearly, but in the past few weeks we have grown more vigilant. Let us partake now in the free expression of our dissent.
I'm Projit Mukherjee. I'm a professor at the University of Pennsylvania and proudly an alumnus of JNU. I am proud to say that I was a student of JNU, and much of what I am today I've learnt there. And I've also learnt, amongst other things, which I continue to cherish here at this university, that a university is above all a place to experiment, to try out new things, to come up possibly with solutions for a better world. Now, not all experiments are conducted in laboratories. Most of it is conducted in our minds. And for that, for those experiments which are most important and conducted in our minds, the university is a place to try out ideas. Not all of them work out. Some are good, some are bad, some are wrong, but they should all have a space. And anybody in India who tries to shut down that space is, for me, an anti-national. I think the present government is anti-national. I think the students are the biggest patriots. I salute Umar Khalid, I salute Anirban Bhattacharya, I salute all the other students who are standing up for the spirit of what India and JNU is actually about. And I denounce the government that is trying to call them terrorists and anti-nationals. And I think they're the ones who should be booted out of India and universities. Thank you.
I am willing to serve my country, but my worship is reserved for right, which is far greater than my country. To worship my country as a god is to bring a curse upon it. Rabindranath Tagore.
That students at JNU organized, for which they were arrested, was called The Country Without a Post Office. They were talking about Kashmir, and the poem The Country Without a Post Office is a poem by Agha Shahid Ali. I'm going to read out a little bit of that poem. In this dark rain, be faithful, phantom heart. This is your pain. Feel it. You must feel it. Nothing will remain. Everything is finished. I see his voice again. This is the shrine of words. You'll find your letters to me and mine to you. You'll find your letters to me and mine to you. Come soon and tear open those vanquished envelopes. And I reach the minaret. I'm inside the fire. I have found the dark.
I remember my first JNU student elections. In the weeks before the elections, there was march after march through campus. Hundreds of flyers were forced into my hands. New friends came door to door to talk about not just student issues, but national and global issues that they were fighting for. Classmates who were involved in elections barely slept, spending their time canvassing and debating issues that were relevant beyond campus walls. They discussed how to make a campus a better and more accessible place for women and for students of the scheduled castes and religious minorities. They discussed LGBTQ rights, the struggles of the cleaning staff, as well as national politics and global issues. I saw my classmates engaged in heated debate. Never had I seen students so engaged in politics and so dedicated to changing the world. What happened next, after the counting, was the most shocking and impressive thing at all. After the votes were in and the representatives were picked, everything shifted. The members of all the parties, SFI, ISA, NSUI, ABVP, congratulated each other and went back to being classmates and friends. For me, this is JNU, a place of dissent, a place of twice-a-year hunger strikes, a place where women are respected, a place where people are so passionate about enacting change that they will risk their freedom and bodies for the freedom and bodies of people they have never met. And yet it is also a place where these same people respect the opinions of those who envision a different set of changes in the world. Every time I argued with one of my student activist friends, no matter how much we disagreed, my friend would listen. I have never experienced anything like it before and haven't experienced anything like it since. For this reason, it is especially hard for me to see my teachers and friends subject to this witch hunt, assaulted in courtrooms, for simply raising questions that some people would rather not hear. It is times like these, I feel, the truth of the words of Martin Luther King that I heard repeated so often in JNU events, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Now is not a time for silence. Now is the time for showing solidarity.
I'm a student at UPenn, but I'm originally from Mexico, and I'm originally from the state of Guerrero, which, as if some of you know, 43 students were disappeared a few years ago, and the government has yet to answer for its disappearance. These are 43 students training themselves to become teachers, and they come from a school known for its activist history. And so I'm heartened to find myself in the company of a group of people who are likewise mourning the death and outraged about the repression against their fellow students. And I join you, a hand from one side of the global south to another, expressing my solidarity, and may the fight for justice transgress all borders.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
The people united shall always be victorious.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
The people united shall always be victorious.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
The people united shall always be victorious.
My name is Fatima Tasadat. I'm a student in the anthropology department and I'm from Pakistan.
I'm Amel Sharon. I'm a student at the University of Pennsylvania and I'm from India.
हम देखेंगे लाज़िम है कि हम भी देखेंगे हम देखेंगे वो दिन की जिसका वादा है जो लोहे अज़ल पे लिखा है हम देखेंगे लाज़िम है कि हम भी देखेंगे हम देखेंगे.
He who desires peace under oppression is a fraud. It is human tendency to disturb and attain clarity in the fight for liberation. Rajkumar N.D., Dalit poet in Tamil.
I am a PhD student at the University of Pennsylvania and I want to read out something by Dilip Chitse. Dictators, they are killing my brothers with bullets. They will kill my children with lies.
I'd like to read something out. This is from Jacques Derrida. Within the university, you can study without waiting for any efficient or immediate results. You may search just for the sake of searching and try for the sake of trying. There is a possibility of what I would call playing. It's perhaps the only place within society where play is possible to such an extent.
Function of a university is not simply to teach breadwinning or to furnish teachers for the public schools or to be a center of polite society. It is, above all, to be the organ of that fine adjustment between real life and growing knowledge of life, an adjustment which forms the secret of civilization. This is W.E.B. Du Bois. Don't ever raise your eyebrows. All signs of fascism, symptoms of the faithless. Just obey and dance to the tunes of habit. This lesson of the broken backbone I blare out broadcast. Do not heed the blabber of the enemies of the people. To stand up on your two legs, but seek the wisdom of walking on all fours and obedience to law, the safest way not to fall. By Gopal Krishna Adiga, Water for Your Feet.
Beware my body and my soul. Beware above all of crossing your arms and assuming the sterile attitude of the spectator. For life is not a spectacle. A sea of griefs is not a proscenium. And a man who wails is not a dancing bear. Amy Cesare. Notebook of a return to the native land.
Just a short while ago, I was arrested under Misai because I was found exploring the garbage can for democracy dumped by our rulers there.
हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
हम चलेंगे साथ साथ,
हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन। शांति चारों ओर होगी, शांति चारों ओर होगी, शांति चारों ओर एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन।
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
अरे आई
आजादी,
आई
आजादी,
अरे जोर से बोल लो
आजादी,
पर उमर खालिद
आजादी,
पर अनिर्बान
आजादी,
अरे जेएनयू के लिए
आजादी,
संस्कृति ईरानी
आजादी,
अरे सामंतवाद से
आजादी,
अरे मनुवाद से
आजादी,
फ्रॉम कैपिटलिज्म
आजादी,
अरे मनुवाद से
आजादी,
अरे जोर से बोल लो
आजादी,
है हक हमारा